Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Innovation Podcast, your source for all things innovation. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, today I have Alex Quilici on the line, and he's CEO over at YouMail. Alex, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. It's exciting.
Oh, my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you. So for the listeners, we always do a pre-show, and we always do a warm-up and all that stuff. And Alex says, in order to get my name right, the last name Quilici, it's how Italian you feel. He says, you got to put your hands in the air. And while I was practicing, I already had my hands in the air. I was like, Alex, can you see through my screen? Is the video on?
That's great. Well, I appreciate you taking the effort to get it right.
Oh, man, I'm in all day long. And so, Alex, I'm excited to get into your companies, and we've got a lot to talk about. So first off, congrats. You won an MEA award, so congrats on that.
Well, thank you. We're always happy when the work that the team at YouMail does is recognized, and the MEA award was a nice recognition of that.
Fantastic. Well, let's just jump right in. So I want to talk more about what you're doing as CEO over at YouMail. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
So what YouMail does, sort of the formal description is we provide security-first cloud-based communication services for mobile phones. So what does that actually mean? It means that we want to help make phone calls more secure and more valuable. So we have a free service that actually protects people against robocalls. So everybody's gotten, tons of robocalls. The problem with robocalls isn't just annoyance, though. It's that they're used for identity theft, and they're stalkers, and they're scamming. There's all sorts of problems that happen with these phone calls, and so we have a free service that basically blocks them. And not only does it block the calls, it protects your voicemail box from getting, these kind of messages that can be really troubling. On the other side, the paid services we have are around providing robocall-free second phone numbers. So if you want to run a business, you can actually get a phone number from us, and it'll make sure that no robocalls get through, provide a virtual receptionist, and actually help you really manage your phone calls for your business in a really effective way. So that's sort of the story of YouMail in a nutshell.
So a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives listen to this show, and they're listening right now, and they're like, man, I've been looking for a service like this for a long time. Just so that, and at the end of this, I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave your website or wherever you want to direct that traffic so people can learn more about YouMail. But what are just so that the right type of people and or businesses follow up, what are typically the right types of clients that are a good fit for YouMail service?
Well, so for our free service, since that's blocking robocalls and giving you a better mobile voicemail, it's pretty much everyone. I mean, nobody is sitting there at home going, wow, I'd really like to get a robocall. So that's a really wide audience. The second line service is targeted more at sole proprietors, people trying to run their own business, the person who's walking dogs or running a mobile car wash, that sort of thing. But oddly, we have people at all of the Fortune 100 using it, so it's become a really great work-from-home tool. It's another number you can give out to people instead of your cell phone, and so you can have some control over who and when people can connect with you.
Oh, that makes so much sense. What kind of, you've been in this industry for a while now. What kind of trends are you just noticing on this call side of things, whether it's bots, whether it's scams or otherwise? Just because, while I have you on the line, you just have a unique vantage point. Most people don't know. I don't know, just throwing this out there. You've been in business now going on 14 years at least with YouMail, so you've seen a big progression of all these different technologies. What's interesting to you right now?
Well, one of the most interesting things to me is how easy it's become to make huge numbers of phone calls. And so that's what's caused the robocall problem in the U.S. is that someone can click a button and make millions of phone calls, and it doesn't have to be someone who's sophisticated. And those calls can be made rapidly. They can be made very cheaply. And so you get people using them to try to do lead generation, just like you'd use banner ads. You get people using them to try to do fraud, pretend they're the Social Security Administration, and, there's a problem and you need to pay a fee. And so because it became so easy, it became adopted rapidly, and that's what's caused a lot of the problems. So that's the bad side of what's happened. The good side is we now no longer need to go to phone companies to get phone numbers. So a company like YouMail can actually provide you real business phone service. And, with one click, you get a phone number. You can pick a phone number that you want. We can add all these great features. For example, someone calls you and they can get a automatic text message if you couldn't answer the phone that directs you to your Calendly account, and where they can make an appointment. So that we've been able to put some really sophisticated features, make it super easy to get a phone number. That wasn't really possible 15 years ago. And so that's one of the big changes. So it's both good and bad how easy it is to get phone numbers and make and receive calls now.
That's awesome. I love it. And then for me, to me, the phone for business, right now we're recording this podcast interview on a phone in a third-party service. But to me, the phone is still we always talk about social media. We talk about all these other things, but the phone is not going away. The phone is one of the most important. That's your lifeline to your business. And I tell people this all the time when they're talking about like phone services or cloud-based or all these other things. I'm like, you need to have your phone system figured out. So what you're doing is really clearing through a lot of the clutter to help people and just stop getting all these bot calls too. That's a big deal.
Well, that's right, and I think a lot of people said, "Oh, the phone is dead. Nobody makes a phone call anymore." And I think the pandemic changed all that for people. We saw the various conference calling services seeing their number of minutes go up massively, not just for video calls, but for good old-fashioned audio calls. We know that people have told us, "Yeah, I'm answering a lot more calls now. I want to talk to people." And so I think the death of the phone call was greatly exaggerated. I know, for example, if I have a problem with the business, I don't want to sit there and text them for 45 minutes. I want to talk to someone, explain what my issue is, and get it fixed, or be able to leave a message so they can look at something and call me back with the problem solved. So I think, the phone call is just evolving. It's just like people have said that radio is dead probably since the day after it was invented. And yet you still have, you have an evolution, right? Radio is becoming more personal. It moved to satellites. You have things that sort of substitute for it but are pretty similar, like Pandora is sort of like a customized version of a radio station. So you see evolution, but I don't think the phone call is going to disappear.
Yeah, I mean, that's well said. So, Alex, that being said, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about YouMail, either of the services, whether it's the free one, whether it's the paid one because they're a business, what's the best way for them to follow up and learn more?
So 3 different ways. One is they can go to our website at youmail.com. You can learn a lot about our service there. The second thing is you can go to either of the major app stores and just download our app. It's called YouMail, and just play with it, get it running. It's totally free to get started, and if you just want to block robocalls, it's free forever. And the third, oddly enough, is we have a toll-free phone number, 800-374-0013. They can call up and learn about it that way.
If you didn't leave a phone number, Alex, it was gonna hurt my heart. I was gonna say if you don't leave a phone number, I was gonna say my heart is hurt.
No, we find that an awful lot of people will do some research on our service, especially people who want to become, premium customers or want to use it for their business, and they want to talk to us for that last 5 minutes, get some questions, get some reassurance, understand what our money-back guarantee is, all of those sorts of things, which requires talking to a person, and we're totally fine with that. We think that's great.
Fantastic. Well, Alex, first off, congrats again for winning an MEA award. A big deal there. So for what you're doing over at YouMail. So congrats on that, and thanks again for coming on the show to not only share the success in winning your award, but also tell us more about what you're doing over at YouMail. I know this is a great episode. My audience would definitely appreciate it. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Innovation, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Alex, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a lot of fun.